Minister Ginger London. Welcome. We are closing out today with our final teaching on for today. As you know, we're doing some special teachings to talk about how you can align your purpose, your vision for your life, or for your business or your career, to the core values of and your beliefs. And so, to close us out on today, I'm going to be talking about the genius within you, using your genius within to help others as a life coach or in ministry. So if you are someone who that you're called to help other people move forward in life, then I'm asking you to really join me and pay attention to this teaching, because I'm going to be talking about how you call on your spiritual gifts and your natural talents to help others make life more fulfilling for them. And this is it's going to be interesting, because sometimes we're just sitting on our gifts, we're sitting on our wealth, we're sitting on the gold mine that God has given us internally, our spiritual gifts. And we're sitting around trying to figure out how we're going to make it in life. What are we going to do? What am I going to do to move myself forward? And then we know that we're called to help other people. And so now we're trying to figure out, well, how am I going to do that? How am I going to help other people? And so sometimes we are shorting ourselves because we don't allow our spiritual gifts to come into play for what God has called us to do. We know that we have them. We believe that we have them. We know what our natural talents are, what we're skilled at, what we're gifted at, what our knowledge base is. But for some reason, we sit on our wealth and we don't move forward. We don't launch out into the deep like we're supposed to experience the fulfilling life that God wants us to experience, but also to help others experience the life that we have been assigned to help them to experience as well. So once again, everybody, I'm Minister Ginger London. Welcome to the live stream on today, and we're going to be talking about how we can use the genius within us. So I want to start off by asking you two questions. What does a great day look like for you? What does a great day look like for you? And then what do you want a great day to look like for those you help? What does a great day look like for you? If you were to go back and just sit down for a minute and take out a notepad, take that question, write it down, and answer the question. For me to have a great day, it would look like this, X, Y, Z. So what does a great day look like for you? And then what do you want a great day to look like for those that you help? It goes back to transformation and also transitioning and transformations, right? Because when you help people, some people are going to be transitioning and some people are going to just be actually transforming. But when we put the two together, it's a powerful experience. So what do you want a great day to look like for those you help? Right? So when we're talking about expressing your talents in whatever you do, is the key to your fulfillment in life. So expressing your talents, no matter what area of your profession, your career, your family life, ministry, it doesn't matter. When you're expressing your talents in whatever you do, is the key to your fulfillment in life. When you're sitting on your gifts, you're sitting on your talents, you're sitting on your skill set. As I said in the teaching earlier, there's going to be something missing. And then what's missing is that you haven't activated, or you're not using that genius, that spiritual component on the inside of you. So you feel like something is missing and you're trying to figure out, what is that? What is missing? Why is it I can't seem to really walk in the fullness of what I've been called to do? It's because you're not expressing your talents and your spiritual gifts in everything that you do or whatever you do. It's also the key in helping others to experience fulfillment in their lives. When God gifted you, He didn't just gift you for yourself. He also gave you spiritual gifts to help other people. Being a fivefold ministry is for the perfecting of the saints, for the works of ministry, right? If you're an encourager, if you are a motivator, it doesn't matter what it is. Your spiritual gifts are to help you, to help the body of Christ, and also to help those that you've been assigned to. So you have to really know how to express your uniqueness in a way that people know that you are the answer to their question. You have the solution to the problem. So you have to be confident in knowing that he that began a good work in you will perform it until the day of Christ. So you have to be confident in what God has given you. And if you're not there yet, before you do anything, before you help anybody, do what you need to do to build your self-confidence in knowing that you have been given the right set of spiritual gifts. You've been given the right skill set. You have the right amount of knowledge. You have the right know-how to do whatever it is that God has called you to do. The only way you don't have it is if you've been sleeping on it for years and years and years of your life. But if you have experienced it in any capacity whatsoever, then you already know that you have everything that you need to do what God has called you to do. You will evolve and you will learn more things. You will grow. You will learn new skill sets. You will learn new technologies. But basically, you have everything that you need to start doing what God has called you to do in the earth at this time. So what is your genius, right? Everyone's a genius. And I don't mean that to say, like you're Einstein or somebody. But you know what I'm saying. Everyone has a giftedness. Everyone has a skill set or a talent. But if you judge Albert Einstein says this, everyone has a genius. But if you judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree, it will live its whole life believing that it's stupid. Now, I want you to really think about that and process that. The fish knows that it should be in water and it swims. But if you judge the fish, if you say whether or not the fish is good, whether or not the fish can do something, if it's valuable, based on its ability to climb a tree, which it was not created to do, if your voice is powerful enough and strong enough in the ear of the fish, it will live its whole life believing that it's stupid. Why? Because it can't climb trees, right? What it is capable of doing is not doing that. It's being judged by something that it's not created to do. So if you're not careful, you'll find yourself judging you. You'll be judging yourself based on something that you were not created to do. So if you're not walking in the assignment that God has called you to do, if you just figured out something you wanted to do, or you're trying your hand at this, you're just trying to find your way instead of discovering your purpose, then eventually what's going to happen, you're going to begin to judge your abilities by that. And then when you start judging your abilities by something that you weren't created to do, you're going to start having that same type feeling. Like, oh, I'm just stupid. This is not for me. I'm not good enough. I'm not smart enough. You'll come up with all of those different things, right? And it will not be the true worth of who you are. It's you judging yourself based on something that you were not created to do, all right? So what's your genius? We're all capable of doing one thing better than any other person alive in this time in history. You must find out what that is. What is that one thing that you're gifted at? What is that one thing that you're good at? What is that one thing you have a skill set beyond your own belief at, that you know that you know that you know, that if you would step out and launch out into the deep, that you know that would literally set your life on a whole different path, and that you would experience a greater fulfillment than you've ever fulfilled. So what is it that you're capable of doing? That one thing, not the multitude of things. What is that one thing that you're gifted at? Right? If I answered that question, I asked that question to myself, I know the one thing that I'm gifted at is teaching and training. I know that beyond a shadow of a doubt. So what is that one thing that you're gifted at? Whatever that is, you have to bring that to life. You have to make sure that in this day and time that you're making history with your own life, that you are walking out what God has called you to do, and you're using your spiritual gifts and talents to get it done. And when you do that, you'll find more fulfillment. Fulfillment is not always money. It's about carrying out what you've been assigned to do. So what we do, we typically spend great portions of our lives judging ourselves by the wrong measures of success, such as money or a job title, right? If I only was in a manager's position, or if I was the supervisor, I could do more, fulfill more. No, if you walk in what God has called you to do, then you won't be judging yourself by the wrong measures of success. Money is good, it answers all things, but it's not a determination or a determining factor as to whether or not you are fulfilling what God has called you to do. You could move into a particular industry at the right time and become wealthy, even if you don't like doing it, but you're making money at it. You could be in a job where you make really good money, but don't like the type of job that you're working in. So it's really not about the money as it relates to defining who you are or acknowledging and recognizing who you are. The money is good, but it's not the definition of who you are, right? All right. So, but if you're aim at the things, but if you're aiming at the things that those particular things, the job title and the money, they may not fit with the gratification that comes from doing work that fits, right? Doing your assignment, doing your greater works in the earth, right? When you're aiming at those other things, you're not going to find the same gratification that you'll find when you're actually walking in the ordered steps for your life. You're just not, because the steps of a good man are ordered by God. So when you start making your own steps and taking your own journeys and creating your own path, you'll get some gratification, but not like the gratification you'll get when you're doing the work that fits your life, that you've been assigned to do, right? So if you spend your life trying to be good at everything, right? You got all these different paths you're taking. You'll probably be great at nothing. You'll end up being great at nothing, because at some point, every time you get so far, you're going to stop and you're going to try something new. You're going to go so far, you're going to stop. You're going to try something new because you haven't pinpointed what you really are called in the earth to do. And so you're going to be going back and tossing back and forth, trying to figure things out and trying all these new ventures, and nothing's going to work. I've seen myself do it a couple of times. You try all these different things, but it doesn't work until you actually are walking in the ordered steps for your life, and you're moving in the spiritual gifts and the talents that you have been given to operate in the earth with. Very important that you know that. So what gets in the way of us expressing our talents? What is that barbed wire type fist of things that get in the way, that's poking and probing and pulling at you, that's keeping you away from what you are called to do? And if that's like coaching, if that's ministry coaching for you, if that's encouragement and helping other people move forward in life, you have to take a step back and really honestly evaluate and say, what's getting in the way of me expressing my spiritual gifts and my talents that I've been entrusted with? Because I know once I express them, release them, begin to flow in them, I know that my life will change, and those people who I'm assigned to, their lives will change. But until I begin to express that, I'm going to sit still, sitting on my wealth, sitting on my gifts, sitting on my talents, and those who I'm assigned to will never experience the breakthrough that they're supposed to experience by having a connection with me. So what gets in the way? We've all been taught to believe that negative equals realistic, right? Don't do too much. Don't go too far. Don't go overboard. Don't get beside yourself. That's good enough right there. You don't have to do much more. And positive equals unrealistic. When you have these supernatural goals that you want to achieve, then people tell you, oh, that's unrealistic. You'll never get to that. But if you press toward the mark and you push toward the assignment that God has given you, you'll get there, and you'll experience exactly what God wants you to experience. If you notice, even on all of these different social media platforms, the people who are making it, the people who are progressively moving forward, are people who are constantly pursuing their assignment. They are constantly flowing in their assignment. They are constantly teaching and talking to the people that they are assigned to. So you have to make sure that you're not in that negative equals realistic mindset. That's not good. You want positive to really push towards that barrier of thinking that it's unrealistic and begin to move into the area of the deepness, if you will, that God wants you to launch out into, so that when you let your nets up, when you've done everything you're supposed to do and you've let your nets down, you've done everything you need to do to express your spiritual gifts and your talents, when you pull that net up, you're going to you will have reaped way more than you ever thought possible in your life. So the question for you, are you working with or against the current? Right? Are you working with or against the current? Are you that little yellow arrow moving against the current? Are you working with or with the current? You have to know where you are. That's the only way. You have to be honest with yourself and say, where am I right now in life? What am I doing? And is it what I'm supposed to be doing in life? Right? Remember Debbie Fields with the cookies, chocolate chip cookies? She said, what I wanted was to be allowed to do the thing in the world that I did best, which I believe then and believe now is the greatest privilege there is. When I did this, success found me. Right? She says, what I wanted was to be allowed to do the thing in the world that I did best. That's where you have to be. You have to be at the place where you say, I want to be allowed to do the thing in this world, in today's time, that I do best. But you have to figure out what that is. You have to know what it is. You have to receive it and not be afraid of it and say, this is what's been entrusted to me. This is what I'm going to operate from. This is the flow that I'm going to operate in, which I believe then, she says, and believe now, is the greatest privilege there is. When I did this, success found me. How awesome is that? When you start flowing in what God has called you to do. Remember, there's a scripture that says your gift will make room for you. That means that, not talking about a room like your living room. It's talking about it's going to open up some opportunities for you, right? And this is what she's saying. When she did this, success found her. And that's where you want to be. You want to be able to flow in your gifts, flow in your talents, monetize your knowledge, whatever that is. When you do it, when you do what you do best, success is going to find you. And it's going to find you and reward you diligently for it. So I want to know if you're feeling strong right now. I hope that you are. Are you ready to use your genius within to help others? If so, I'm going to tell you about a program right here that we are offering. It's the Align program. It's building a profitable life coaching business or ministry on what matters most for you. There's a special registration of only $47. It's a 3-day virtual training on getting started as a coach, and whether it's in a life coach or you're doing ministry coaching or you're adding coaching to your, maybe what type of business you have, or you're adding it to how you're servicing others in ministry. You're adding this particular dimension, or you would like to add that dimension to it. So Align is a 3-day live virtual introduction to life coaching training. It's June 25th, 23rd to 25th. It's going to kick off with some early morning abundance mindset teaching on June 23rd. And that should be not 54, but 24, right? The 24th at 9 a.m. And it's going to be about 20 minutes of teaching on getting your mind right, having the abundance mindset. You know, what do you believe about abundance? No matter how that abundance shows up in your life, whether it's money, whether it's more customers, whether it's more a larger congregation, whether it's more clients, whether it's more books you write, whether it's more workbooks that you do, whether it's more articles that you're writing for maybe article sites or magazines. It doesn't matter what it is. What is your mindset about abundance? Because when abundance shows up, if your mindset is not right towards abundance, you won't receive it. And you'll find yourself falling short because you won't. There'll be one more thing you can do, but you won't do it. Because your mind says, oh, you have enough. You don't need to do all of that. Right? So it starts with abundance mindset teaching. And then every day for those 3 days, the 23rd and the 24th, your daily Align training is going to be at 7 p.m. And then on Saturday, June 25th, it's going to be at 9 a.m. And so that's a full-fledged training on what it means to be a life coach and how you can get started right now. So during this special, inspiring, and informative mini life coach training, you'll learn how to build a coaching business or ministry on the foundation of your core beliefs. If you joined me earlier today where we talked about core beliefs and core values and all of these things, then you know what I'm talking about. If not, go watch the replay. So it's going to teach you how to build a coaching business or ministry on the foundation of your core beliefs, your values, and your philosophies. Your philosophies are what you think about different areas of life, right? A philosophy of people or human beings means when you have that type of philosophy, it means what do you believe about people? Do you believe they're capable of change? Do you believe there's growth potential there? Do you believe that they can change their minds, right? That's what philosophy means. You know, what's your philosophy about training? What's your philosophy about change? Do you believe change is possible for human beings, right? So that's what I mean by philosophies. We all have them. You just maybe haven't identified it as that. But what are your beliefs about people? What do you believe about change? What do you believe about growth? What do you believe about potential? What's your philosophy about that, right? So you're going to learn how to build your coaching business or ministry on the foundation of your core beliefs, values, and philosophies to be more fulfilled, successful, and happy as you help others move forward in their lives, right? You don't want to, even in ministry, it's hard to help people in ministry when you're angry about your own life, when you're disappointed with yourself, when you're not happy about where you are in life. It's really hard to help someone in ministry. So you have to make sure that's right. So this training is designed to help you understand what starting a life coaching business or ministry requires to be profitable and how to build it on what matters most, your true values. You'll learn how to soul align. What that means is you'll learn how to step fully into your purpose to create more, make more, and live more in helping others to do more in their lives, right? So how will it happen? You'll receive 60 to 75 minutes of live life coach training each day for the 3 days that will teach you about the coaching profession, the 3 C's of needed to build a coaching business or ministry, and what it takes for you to get started as a life coach right now, helping others to move forward. You will also receive, as I said earlier, the early morning training on the abundant mindsets. Thursday and Friday morning at 9 a.m. Central Time, you'll receive that training. So what does it look like? Day 1, Coaching the Change Live. Change is the first C. So Coaching the Change Live, we're going to talk about what are those radical shifts for new or aspiring life coaches. What are those shifts that you need to make? You're going to learn a step-by-step process for shifting even the most damaging limiting beliefs that will help you not only to think, but to act differently and therefore embody new beliefs that will change the game for you from the foundation up for your whole mind, body, and spirit as a life coach. The Word of God says, as a man thinketh, so is he. Day 2 is coaching from your core values, right? You're going to learn how to get crystal clear on exactly what's draining you in your life currently and then release it for good, right? Again, you can't help someone if you're not together yourself per se. You have to get some of the debris out. You don't have to be perfect and you don't have to be the greatest of all times, but you do need to have some things cleared out before you do anything. You're going to learn how to hear and trust your inner spirit and God's spiritual guidance in launching out instead of brushing it off saying, you know what, I'm going to do this later. I'm not going to start right now. I'm going to start next year. And then next year becomes the next year. And next year becomes the next year. You have to get started now if this is what you are called to do. So I want you, when we're on day 2, you're going to get radically honest about what your soul is here to share, even if you've been scared to admit it or fuzzy about it up until now. So that's what day 2 we're going to talk about. And on day 2, you're going to discover your spiritual gifts, right? Why are your gifts important? Because your gifts are what you've been empowered with to complete the assignment that God has given you. Day 3, coaching conversations that transition and transforms, right? Coaching conversations that transitions and transforms. That's the power of your voice. So you're going to learn the difference between coaching and counseling. You'll learn the basics of the life coaching profession and the 3 essential components of every successful coaching business. You'll learn about the 5 C's of the Diamond Coaching Conversation and how to coach for results using your words and time wisely, right? Every word that you speak should be on assignment, period. Period. If God is using you to help people, God is using you to bring transformation. You're that change agent. If you are in leadership, even on your job, if you are empowering other people, your voice is powerful. and your words are on assignment. So you have to be careful with how you use it. So you're going to get your training material for all 3 days, days 1, 2, and 3. You're also going to get some customizable coaching business templates that you can use right now. These templates are designed to help you map out maybe how you want to do it, or to kind of pinpoint the area of coaching that you probably are interested in, and how you can get started now. It's going to show you what you need to do. You're also going to get some bonuses. Bonus number 1, you're going to get some personal branding templates. You have to know who you are and what you're gifted with. So you're going to get some personal branding templates where you have to really dive in and really answer some powerful questions to help you identify where you are right now and what you're doing. Bonus number 2, you're going to have access to the training replays for 10 days. The last day is the 25th, so starting on the 26th, you'll have 10 days to watch the replays. Maybe you missed something, you want to go back and maybe refresh your notes, or just refresh what you learned over the 3 days. So you'll have access to the replays for 3 days. And bonus number 3, you'll have access to the private Diamond Coaching Academy Facebook group, where others who've gone through the academy, either for full certification, or they've done a challenge, or they're doing something like this where they paid for information. They're in the group, and you'll be able to dialogue with them and share with them. So I want you to know that this is an introduction to life coaching training. It is not a full certification training. So this is just to get your feet wet. This is just to give you the information you need to be introduced to it, or to refresh your remembrance if you've been introduced before, so that you can decide if full certification is for you. 1, if life coaching is for you, and then 2nd, if full certification is for you. So this is not a full certification. So to register for the Align training, the registration is in the live stream description, but also is here. So if you want to write this down, this web address down, it'll take you right to the sales page, and you can register from there. And all of the information and everything that you need to know after you register is going to be in module number 1, in the welcome module. So write this down, or look into the live stream description. At the very top, you'll be able to find the link to actually register for the live stream. So I want to thank you, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me again. I'm Minister Ginger London. So this is our second round for today. So if you didn't see the live stream teaching for earlier today, be sure to go back and watch the replay. God bless you, everybody. Take care. Have an awesome kind of evening, and I look forward to seeing you again real soon. Take care, everybody.